Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Ditto Fitness. My name is Andre Ditto. Tonight, I'd like to discuss a couple of topics with you that will certainly enhance your life and just give you more of a direction as to how to take care of yourself, how to bring yourself more health and wellness. Before I get into tonight's topic, I'd like to talk about 3 supplements that will really help your health and change your life. The first one is vitamin E. Vitamin E is something that, like a lot of other vitamins, we all take for granted. And we think that our body, which is a wonderful machine that can produce a lot of the supplements that we do take, but we still need to supplement because of the fact that we're active human beings, we're active individuals, and we need to put extra fuel in the body. Once again, the great analogy of the car is really just so fitting to everything that you do in life. If you put good gas in a car and you maintain it and you change the oil when necessary, the car runs like it's supposed to. Our bodies operate on the same principle. When you take care of your body the way you're supposed to, by getting enough rest, by eating good foods, and by supplementing, because we're so active, that's what makes the difference in our lives. That will give us better quality of life, it'll give us more energy, we'll sleep better, and the list goes on and on. Anyway, vitamin E. Vitamin E is sort of the great equalizer of the body. Vitamin E is an antioxidant, which I have explained on previous shows what an antioxidant is, so I won't go into that. Vitamin E just does so many good things for the body. It's good for your skin, it's good for your nails, it gives you clearer skin, it helps your nails from becoming brittle and becoming infected with fungus. Vitamin E also thins the blood a little bit, which means that your heart rate slows down because of that fact. We need to, and this is just my recommendation, and this is what I do. I usually take about 400 to 800 IUs, which is international units of vitamin E a day. That translates to anywhere from 1 gram to 2 grams of vitamin E, which further breaks down into 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. So this is a supplement that is just all around good for your body. It does so many good things for you, and you want to take it every day. The second supplement I'd like to talk about is zinc. Zinc is a mineral that the body naturally produces, but once again, when you're active, you're burning it, you're going to need to take a little bit more. Zinc helps with so many things like blood pressure. It helps you with wounds that if you cut yourself, you'll heal faster because you have zinc in the body. It helps you with your lung capacity. It will help you to breathe even more freely just because you're taking zinc. And for the men out there, zinc is very important for your sex drive. It helps you to produce sperm. It helps you to produce testosterone as well. So we want to take zinc, whether we're obviously male or female, just for the benefits that I just explained, and take it every day. I would take about, what I take anyway, is about 50 milligrams of zinc a day. Once again, I make these recommendations based on what I am taking. I'm not a doctor. I have no license to practice medicine, and so therefore these are just suggestions rather than any kind of a prescription formula that I'm putting out there. The third supplement I like to talk about is coenzyme Q10. Coenzyme Q10 is something the body produces naturally. Once again, it's in the mitochondria of the cells. The mitochondria, which I've spoken about before, is the energy of the cell. It's in the nucleus of the cell. That's what gives the cell energy. This is what helps fuel the body and just keeps us active and gives us our energy every day. So what coenzyme Q10 does is helps the body eliminate many of the old cells, and we get rid of about 1 billion old cells each day, and just reproduce new cells so we can keep on functioning and keep our everyday lifestyle as we live it. Some of the other things that coenzyme Q10 does is protect the heart. It's the great savior of the heart as I see it. It acts as like your roto-rooter for your arteries and your veins in your heart, and just keeps everything kind of running smoothly in there and keeps it sort of clean. It also helps with brain function, coenzyme Q10. If you're feeling like you're lethargic or your memory isn't what it used to, coenzyme Q10 can help you with that, along with other supplements. So my recommendation of coenzyme Q10 is to take about 250 milligrams a day. That's what I take. So vitamin E, zinc, coenzyme Q10, 3 great supplements that you could take daily to just make your everyday life just more energetic, more functional, making you feel better than you normally would than if you didn't take these things, of course, in combination with other supplements. But I just wanted to talk about these particular supplements because they're so important to the body, and they just perform so many functions for all of us. Now I'd like to move on to the topic of tonight's show is creativity. Why is it important? I mean, why are some people more creative than others? Why is it that some are more inspired than others to be creative in their lives? And I found some very good information on the internet, and I'd like to share some of this with you tonight, and just kind of hope to enlighten some people a little bit and just get your creative juices flowing, if I may use the phrase, and just kind of get you thinking about what creativity is. I'd like to read something I pulled off the internet here, and it's about creativity. Creativity is a phenomenon whereby something new and valuable is created, such as an idea, a joke, a literary work, a painting, or musical composition, a solution, or an invention, and the list goes on. It is also the qualitative impetus associated with intelligence and cognition. What does that all mean? In other words, creativity comes from many places. It comes from just, you can be someone who thinks creatively. You can be a person who just can sit down with a blank pad and a pen and just start writing and become creative and create a story, even create a novel. Being able to be creative in how you solve problems is another form of creativity. And basically what this paragraph says that creativity comes from intelligence, at least some of creativity comes from intelligence, and how cognitive, how aware you are of what's going on in your life and your surroundings. There's so much to be desired from what's going on around us. And if so many writers and poets and anybody who draws or paints have gotten an infinite number of ideas just by looking around at their surroundings and saying, you know what, I'd like to paint that tree, or I'd like to write about, the ship that is, just sailing down the sea. I mean, that's one part of creativity anyway. When you come up with a clever solution for a problem, that certainly is creative. Because that usually makes people's lives easier. So there's many forms of creativity that exist in society. I'd like to read a little paragraph from Psychology Today that I pulled off the internet that I thought was very interesting, and it's called All About Creativity, and it just gives you a little more insight, a little more in-depth definition of sort of what creativity is, and how to sort of delve into your own creativity and how to recognize other people's creativity. The article is called All About Creativity. Even those of us not inexplicably creative fields must come up with new ideas and insights in order to move ahead. How can we shake up our thinking patterns? Creativity has been pegged to conducive environments, perfect collaborators, personality traits, serendipity, and even spiritual muses. Once again, what does all that mean? It says that we all are capable of being creative, of doing something that somebody will say, you know what, that was pretty creative on your part. The article also talks about how we can shake up our thinking patterns, meaning like getting out of the everyday routine of going to your 9-to-5 job, coming home and turn on the TV, having dinner, and that's all fine, and you've spent time with your family, which is wonderful. But sometimes we get in this routine and we sort of get stuck. And we're like, you know, I wish I could find something else to do that would just shake up my life and bring some excitement and bring some just insight to my life. And creativity is one of the keys to doing that. It's a question of how you find it. And some of the things I mentioned, like going out to the park, you may be inspired by the children playing. Children are the greatest example, in my opinion, of what creativity is. They're innovative. I mean, they're constructive. They just, you've heard so many parents talk about their invisible friends, and I think that's really cute, but that's their creative ability coming out in them to entertain themselves and to say, hey, you know, I'm not bored. I made up this friend and I'm going to have a good time, and that's okay. So just getting out there and once again experiencing your environment will help you tap into your creative side. The article also talks about, it talks about perfect collaborators and personality traits. Collaborating with other people can definitely stir up your creativity. And it could be, as the word is used, serendipitous. It could just be something like just instinctively, and it'll just happen just unexpectedly. You'll just be sitting there talking with a friend and you'll be like, wow, you know something, I'd like to write about that. Or maybe, you know, he or she has a great concept there and I'd like to create a story around it, and even, you know, with illustrations and a narrative piece, and you just suddenly have tapped into something that you didn't even realize was going on inside you. A lot of our creativity is repressed because we're so boxed into the 9-to-5 world, and we don't get a chance to take that step back, take that deep breath, and just say, what do I want to do now? Making time for yourself is something that is very healthy, and I've talked about that in many different aspects on my shows before. Once again, making time for you can just tap into so many different areas of your life, unexpectedly or not, where you just suddenly will say, wow, I didn't know I could be this creative. So it's something to think about. Making time for yourself is of the essence, in my opinion, to starting your creative world, to starting your journey of being creative. Personality traits. Some people are more creative than others. Some people just have it in their blood. They're born with it. And others, like myself in some ways, have to kind of, you know, inch their way into it a little bit more and just find it. But if you're a passionate person, if you can find something you're passionate about in life, you automatically tap into your creativeness at that point. I believe creativity and passion go hand in hand. That in order to be creative, you have to have a certain passion in order to create whatever it is that you want to put out there for people. So keep this in mind when you're thinking about, well, I'm not really creative, and take 5 minutes to sit down with yourself and think about what I'm telling you here. And I bet you'll find your creative side one way or another. Let me continue on with the article. Where research psychologists are interested in increasing innovative thinking, clinical psychologists sometimes encourage patients to use artistic expression as a way to confront difficult feelings. There's another side of creativity. A lot of pain clinics use creativity as a healing modality. Watching a patient draw their pain, drawing what they're feeling inside is such a deep expression, a profound expression of how they're feeling. Believe it or not, that's creative. That's something that allows someone to be creative and will help them heal in some ways. It's been proven scientifically that if a patient can bring their pain out, bring their suffering, if they may be, and they get a chance to even talk about it, it becomes a very creative endeavor for them, and they start to feel better. They start to heal. So if you've ever been to a pain clinic, and I've been to a few of them, you'll notice that there's drawings on the wall. They play certain types of music. That's all part of the creative process to help these people heal. It's an amazing modality to have, to be around, and to watch these people actually be creative. The point is, what I'm trying to say is that everyone is creative. Everyone has some creative ability inside themselves. It's just a matter of tapping into it and finding it. So once again, I can't stress this enough. Take the time, and probably as far as I'm concerned, one of the best times to try to tap into your creativity is when you're angry, because it takes you to a different place. When you think about something when you're angry, when you think about something that's positive, it'll just help you to feel better automatically. Journal. When you feel angry, this is creative. Get a pen and paper and write down what you're angry about. And think about, it doesn't have to be a solution, but think about how you could flip the situation and make it positive. What can you do to remedy this, to say, hey, you know what, I don't have to be angry. That's a form of creativity, believe it or not. So once again, creativity comes in so many different forms and just is presented in so many different ways in our lives that sometimes we probably don't even realize it. And I'm only touching on a few of the ways that people can be creative. My name is Andre Ditto. You're watching Ditto Fitness. Tonight we're talking about creativity, why it's important in our lives, and why it plays such a significant role for everyone, whether we're artists or we're poets or we're just everyday people who want to express ourselves that way. It just plays such a big part in our lives. I'd like to continue and just, I have a list here of, we've all heard so much about the left brain function, the right brain function. I'd like to just quickly mention what the functions are of left and right brain. I'll start with the left brain. Uses logic, detail orient, facts rule, worded language, present and past, math and science, can comprehend knowing acknowledgments, order, pattern perception, knows object name, reality-based, form strategies, practical, safe. For the right brain function, the list goes as follows. Uses feeling, big picture oriented, imagination rules, symbols and images, present and future, philosophy and religion, can get it, believes, appreciates, spatial perception, which sometimes I lack, knows object function, fantasy-based, presents possibilities, impetuous, risk-taking. as it's been said, and I happen to believe this, that a lot of your creativity comes from your right brain function. But I think without your left brain function, I don't think you'd have as much direction in your creativity. And because your left brain controls your logic, and it helps you with your words, your language, etc. I think that there's such a synergy there between your left and right brain function that the right brain starts the procedure of putting things on paper for you, or getting out the sketch pad, or getting out the camera. And your left brain says, hey, you know what? We need to move over to the left a little bit, or we need to center the lens a little bit more, or let's not use gray this time. Let's use like a dark blue in our creation here. And it's pretty amazing. The brain is an amazing organ in our body that just plays such a significant part in our everyday life, and we sort of take that for granted. But that's for another time. But allowing ourselves to tap into this is my point by reading this list. We all have some of this somewhere in our minds and in our hearts, and we just have to find it. So just by starting the process, that's creativity. Just taking an idea and knowing you have the idea can turn into something creative. That's a part of creativity. Once again, I can't stress this enough that there's so many ways and there's so many options in which we can be creative, from tying our shoes to writing a novel and everything in between. It's pretty amazing how we can function that way and just be ourselves. It's a matter of just not being afraid. So next time you feel like you want to do something, have a pen and paper handy, write it down, or have a mini tape recorder and just talk into the recorder and, you know, make sure your ideas are captured. And that's creativity within itself, just capturing your ideas. We all have this ability. As much as we have sort of a standard where we believe that the artists and the writers and so on are the people who are the most creative, which is a fair assessment. But, you know, we can all participate in being creative one way or another. And creativity just changes our lives. I mean, it just really makes a difference. It makes us more positive, and it can make us healthier. It just has so many functions that we can take ourselves sort of to the next level, the next plateau in our lives, and just think about what that's like to be creative. So I'm taking moments in between what I'm saying here because I want to give you a chance to absorb the information that I put out there. Now, I know there's a lot of information that I've provided you with tonight, and I've sort of repeated myself sometimes. This is for those who really haven't tapped into themselves, and it's for everybody, of course, but particularly for those who haven't tapped into their creative side. I'm trying to get the message across that we're all capable of being creative. So by taking these moments in between what I'm saying, it gives you a chance to take a deep breath and say, you know, is this something that I can relate to? Is this something that I feel? And by allowing yourself just that moment every day, you'll start to feel and do things differently. I myself try to make time, excuse me, to sort of check in with myself, I like to call it, every day. I take about 10 minutes out of my day to just, whether it be at lunchtime or sometime a break in my day, and I sit somewhere quietly and I just think about what's going on in my day. Am I having a good day? Is everything going well? Do I feel good today? You know, what am I looking at for the rest of my day? And that allows you to just, you know, just feel good about yourself. And that may even help you to tap into some creative juices, as I said earlier, and just help your day go by much more smoothly and much more productive. So allowing yourself to have time for you is essential. And making a place for you to then turn that into something creative is just, you know, sort of making it part of your life. And when you start to do that, that's where the changes come in. That's where the differences come in. So start to think about why this is positive, why this, once again, is essential. Don't be afraid. Don't worry about what other people are going to think and how you're going to be treated and so on. Be yourself is the objective here. And when you allow yourself that space, once again, you're going to notice the changes in your life, and you're just going to start to feel differently, and you're going to notice that the negativity is going to start to come out more, and you're going to be able to just sort of disavow it and just forget about it, and you'll start to be a much more positive person just by thinking about being creative. And once you start to get into it, as I have found out in many ways, in many aspects of my life, it has changed me in ways that I thought I never could. So the purpose of my message tonight to you is tap into your creative side. Tap into being who you are, and just allow yourself to be creative. Once again, there's hundreds of thousands of ways to do that. My name is Andre Ditto. You've been watching Ditto Fitness. Tonight we talked about creativity, what that means, how do we incorporate that in our everyday lives, and what a difference it can make for all of us. I thank you for tuning in tonight. If you want to get in touch with me, my email address is ditto4fitness@gmail.com. You can reach me at 646-245-3275. Namaste, and have a good evening.